was flipped off by a silver-haired old lady with a honk if you love Jesus sticker on the bumper of her car.
January 3rd, 2010 edition of Doug Pagitt Radio on AM 950. And online, around the world, and perhaps even in the space station, DougPagittRadio.com. Glad to have you all aboard. Hey, I have a little segment here at the end of the first hour that I call the Cripes, the come on, the you gotta be kidding me. And a friend of mine who lives in California was listening to the show, and her roommate was listening along with her, and we got to this part of the segment, and her roommate said, I don't understand that segment. Why does he do that? Why does he tell us about these cripes, these come-ons, and these you got to be kidding me's? I don't understand why someone would bellyache like that. Why someone would complain?
Filler.
I know it's not filler. And I don't know why it's funny. And so my friend, who really enjoys, it's her favorite segment of the show, she tells me, which being your favorite and having it be good are really two different things. But anyway, it's her favorite, and she said, it was very, very difficult to try to explain to my friend this segment and why it makes sense and why somebody would appreciate it. So let me just run through it one more time for those who need to get it. There's some things in the world that aren't the way they're supposed to be, and I try to point those out so that we can be compelled to make things the way that they ought to be. So we live in the frustration, and then at the same time, we live in this anticipation that things are going to be better. So the end of the first hour, I do a Cripes, a come on, you got to be kidding me. And at the end of the second hour, I do a right on. And they go together as little bookends. And you got to hang on through the whole thing. And maybe you just sort of enjoy a little bit of fun loving, belly aching. All right, so here's what I do. Here's how they lay out. They actually build. There's some rationale around what makes it a Cripes, what makes it a come on, and what makes it a you got to be kidding me. A Cripes is the sort of simple little thing that, like when you knock over a glass while you're having dinner and it spills all over the table, you say to yourself, oh, Cripes. Like now I got to just do something else to fix that little problem. And a come on is the kind of thing that you say about some situation that you really want to be different, but you really can't do anything about it. Like when the guy cuts in front of you driving down 94, like happened to me the other day, and the guy drives really slow and you can't get around him, you just say, come on. But you live with it. Then the you got to be kidding me. The you got to be kidding me is we need to make a change here. So that's how they're laid out. And I want people to recognize that having a little frustration in their life isn't the end of the world. Okay, so here they are, the Cripes for today. Now, this one's going to be a little confusing to people because I ran it by somebody this week and they had no idea what I was talking about. So here's what I mean. The Cripes for today is that human beings live with the capacity to have empathy. Now, empathy is a great thing. Empathy is the ability to connect with somebody else's suffering, to connect with somebody else's pain, and to feel it yourself. It's the ability to connect as human beings. But I got to tell you, when you're in the middle of empathy, when somebody that you care about, when somebody that you love, when something's going on with somebody that you're connected to, and you're feeling that pain, you just got to say to yourself, like, oh, Cripes. I mean, it's not even happening to you, but you feel it. You think about it. It just sort of grabs you, throws you on the ground, and leaves you there. And and you can't do anything about it because it's not even your situation to fix. Parents get into this a lot with their kids. People get into it with their loved ones. People sometimes feel it for total strangers that they hear stories about. And the bone-crushing thing about empathy, as important as it is, you can't fix it because it's in the other person's life, story, and situation. And you just feel it for them. And it just gets you. So I got one of those going on this week, and I'm like, oh, this is killing me. Cripes, empathy. All right, the come on this week. You know what it is? It's this economy, this, and I'm going to talk about it as a landowner, as a landlord, as the lord of the land, as somebody who owns rental properties. Nobody's renting places. Nobody's moving, and it's just making me scream every day like, come on. I put up ads on Craigslist. I put out nothing. I mean, the whole thing has just locked down. And you know why? The shenanigans, the liars, the cheaters, and the shortcutters. We're done with them, though, 2010. So my come on is this economy has got to change. For those of us whose lives are somehow connected to the economy, they get a big, fat come on already. Let's make the change. And now that you got to be kidding me. This one I'm serious about. This one's really got my goat. Here we go. There's a little article in the paper about this. It's the Gitmo connection. 14%, Grover, 14% of the people that they let go out of Guantanamo Bay, they know are now actively involved in terrorism again. The Al-Qaeda on the peninsula, the people that put together the Christmas Day plane attack, the guy who's the mastermind behind that
try to take over the world
was let go from Guantanamo Bay in 2007. Now look, the Guantanamo Bay thing is a mess. You got these people, you don't know what to do with them, you don't know where to keep them. The least you could do is figure out the people that are going to go back into terrorism, are going to feel emboldened by it, and keep those guys. 530 detainees have been let go. 14% of those they know and have verified are back involved in terrorism again. I mean, this isn't like a shoplifter. Like, couldn't they figure out some way to keep these people? Instead, you know what they do? They send them back to Saudi Arabia, and then they go through some sort of a treatment program before they get to go off to Yemen and then reconstitute an entire new Al-Qaeda cell.
Yeah, art programs and such.
It's just mind-boggling. And look, I'm not even suggesting you should just leave them there and throw away the key and let them rot away. We should probably spend a little bit of energy coming up with a few answers to what we ought to do with these people, because it's enough to make somebody say that you can't run an anti-terrorism system if you catch people, let them go, and it turns out they just go back to it. Now, maybe you made them into that. Maybe they didn't want to be that before you held them up. Whatever the reason is, whatever the background is, whatever the rationale is for somebody getting into that.
Put them on the payroll. Make them a spy.
Come on. I mean, it just makes you say, you have got to be kidding me that the people that you let go put on videos on the internet saying, and now I'm back in the game. Now I've been let go like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego or something. Like I got out of the fiery prison, and now I'm right back at it. And all it does is emboldens. The whole thing is just a cluster mess. It's just a mess. So my cripes is that it's really hard when you have to live through the pain of somebody else that you love and you care about and you're thinking about it, and it just makes you say to yourself, oh, you have to live with your own pain as well as somebody else's. That this economy is killing the poor little lonely landlord who can't get somebody to rent a beautiful 3-bedroom over in Phillips. And I got a terrific little unit. Move-in ready. And then you got to be kidding me. People, 14% of them. Now look, 1 or 2 you might say, we kind of missed that. You're up into the full double digits here. You're into the 14% of people that were once held at Guantanamo Bay that were let go are now actively involved in terrorism again. You have got to be kidding me. That's why at the end of the show, we need to have a little right on, a little bright point, a little something to look up to. Like Pagitt Radio, religious radio that's not quite right. Back after the break with Tony Jones. Talk to us about religion in 2010. He's going to have a few answers for all this. We'll be back after the break.